Hi, Melanie. Thank you so much for coming on the Thrive Nutrition podcast. How are you doing today?
Very well, thank you. And thank you for inviting me.
Yes, I see you have all your setup of what we're going to talk about today.
Yep, I have everything ready and I have my baby doll at the ready. So this is...
Unfortunately, if our listeners are listening on iTunes and Google Play, they won't be able to see, but we always have the video on YouTube that they can go back to and watch. So tell us about yourself, who you are and what you do.
Okay, well, my name is Melanie Wattles. My background is in nursing. I'm a registered nurse and I'm also a pediatric massage therapist. And I trained as a certified infant massage instructor. So what I'm doing recently is teaching infant massage and pediatric massage to expectant moms and to parents with babies, small babies, newborn babies, and also with older children, with growing children. And that's what I'm doing right now.
That's awesome. What brought you into this part of it? Because you are a registered nurse and I'm sure you worked in the hospital and stuff. So what brought you to infant massage?
Right. How I got into it was interesting, actually. I was working as a nurse in pediatric home care at the time. And I did a class for my CEU credits to keep my RN license up in infant massage. And I'd not really heard of it before. Did the class and I just kind of fell in love with the concept, the benefits of it, and just, it was something that was easy, but I didn't think a lot of people knew about it. So I knew I wanted to kind of share that with people. And actually I started this business back in 2000 when I did that, but I was so busy with my nursing career that I really didn't put anything into it. And I kind of put it on the back burner. Now I have an 8-year-old son and he's kind of in school. He's busy doing his own thing, so I actually have time. So that's why in the last couple of years, I've really put a lot into building it.
That's awesome. Yeah, I totally understand with you with that.
Yeah, I know. It's sort of when they're small, you think you can do so much. And I was one that really just didn't put everything else on the back burner, stayed home. But now he's at school, it's like time to do something for me. So
yes. Yeah, I mean, you really don't hear too much about infant massage. I know a couple other people that do it somewhere else. I know you're in Austin and I'm in Austin, but other people that do elsewhere, but it's really not that popular yet. I feel like it can be an up and coming thing though. Right. So what are the benefits of infant massage?
Well, there are lots and lots of benefits. I think my favorite benefit really is the bonding and connection between the mother or the father and father and the baby. I think when parents learn to do massage, it kind of gives them permission almost to take a little bit of time out from the iPad and the iPhone and that business connection or the media type connection and just spend that one-on-one time with the baby, focusing on the baby. And there is so much to be gained by doing that. Like newborn babies communicate using cues. You know, they'll look you in the eye, they'll maybe hold their little hands up and if they're not happy with something. And if parents are spending even 5-10 minutes a day really focusing on the baby, they actually learn to communicate better with their baby and understand what their baby's saying a lot faster. So that first bonding connection is really wonderful. There are other benefits such as relief. I know a lot of parents have issues with gas and colic that their little ones have. And some of the massage techniques can actually help relieve that gas and colic pain. There are techniques for teething, sinus congestion. In older children, growing pains can be a real issue. I know my son has bad growing pains and massage can really help with that and also with headaches too. So a lot of sort of relief from infant massage. And one of the nice things too is that when you're actually touching the children and the babies and connecting that way, it actually can release the endorphins, the body's own natural painkillers. So that's kind of an added plus.
Yeah. I mean, that's just like hugging. I think I read a study of like even hugging, like that physical touch with someone can really make you feel
a huge difference. One other benefit I always like to share is some of the parents report the babies that do have massage, and there is some research, I should say, behind some of these benefits as well. They are evidence-based. But one is that babies that do get routine massage actually sleep deeper and longer. So a baby that sleeps deeper and longer gives you happier parents, definitely. So
yes.
And it gives the parents a little bit more time too. Weight gain's another possible benefit too. Some of that is due to kind of the abdominal massage techniques, and some is just by the touch. The babies end up absorbing the nutrients a little bit better because of the enzymes that kick in sooner. and can actually gain weight a little bit faster. So it certainly, can be beneficial for that as well.
It's so interesting just because, I mean, even as adults, we like massages and it relaxes us and it.
Absolutely. And that's another key benefit. I could talk all day about benefits, but relaxation is another key benefit. And some of the research that has been done actually says that babies that have regular massage have a decrease in the cortisol, in the stress hormone. And that goes for the parents too. And it's you get into massaging the babies and you're doing your massage, it actually just kind of helps you decompress. And a lot of the parents in my classes will say, gosh, this really is quite relaxing when they're doing it. So it can work as relaxation for both the baby and the parent too, or caregiver. It could be a grandparent or a nanny or any kind of caregiver that's working with the baby.
That's so interesting. Is there amount of time that's ideal for how long you massage a baby?
Not really. Obviously, if you've got a really small baby, you don't want to overstimulate the baby. So you might not do as long and you might not do as many strokes.
Okay.
You can really cover all the areas of the baby, but there are different strokes. Sometimes, on the tummy, there may be 3 or 4 strokes that I'll teach. And with a new baby, you may not do as many all at once. As your baby grows as well, a lot of parents will use massage as kind of like a fun time to connect. So have nursery rhymes and make it kind of playtime, especially with toddlers that are running all around. And you can kind of use massage in that way. And so that may go on for a little bit longer. And then some parents will massage the babies after a bath at bedtime for relaxation. So then they may just massage for 5-10 minutes until the baby goes to sleep. So there really isn't a time limit. It's how much time you have as a parent.
Okay.
What your baby will let you know if it's enough. And it's amazing when you're actually massaging these babies, they communicate right back if they're enjoying it, or if perhaps they don't like the stroke, or if it's just they've had enough.
That's funny. My daughter loves it. She just lays on.
Does she?
Like, massage me, please.
I know. I have to say, my son, when he can't sleep and his head is just kind of full of school things and all sorts of stuff, he'll say, can you just give me a back massage? And within 5 minutes, he is deeply, soundly asleep. So I think it just gives the children time. They know it's like massage time. I can kind of decompress. It's time to go to sleep. So,
and like you said too, it's definitely the bonding experience, having that mom or dad there, like doing that with you. Most of the time, you're kind of focused on that. You're not on your phone. You're not being busy. It's just like that time.
Yep, you're absolutely right. And even, some parents say, well, it's just for small babies. But actually, even as if your child grows, I'm sure you find this too, it's a great time to kind of chat. Like James will open up when I'm doing his back massage at night and tell me about the day. Even in 5 minutes, I can get a lot of information shared during the day. It's amazing what comes out. But I think because the child is so relaxed, it's just a great time to connect.
Yes.
And some of the parents too, if they have to work, so if you've got a lot of parents that are out at work or traveling, it's a great way when they come home, they feel a little bit distanced from their children. And that's a really good tool to use to just instantly reconnect with the child. It's like, let's go and do a back massage or a leg massage, or face is also relaxing. So it's great for working parents.
That's awesome. So give us a couple of techniques. I know you talked a little bit about the strokes. Is there a difference between the strokes that you use?
Yes, some of the strokes that we use, I could, which one should we do first? We could do some of the face strokes too, which are really simple on the head. And one thing I should just mention, when you are doing the massage, it is good to use oils. And we can talk a little bit later about oil.
Okay.
It just helps lubricate and prevents any kind of friction. There's certain body parts where you really don't need to use oils, like the baby's face and head, even hands and feet. But when you've got a larger area of skin. So I'm obviously not going to use any oil on here now. But for the head massage, and I don't usually use it with baby James here. And I also say some of the positions I get him in, don't mirror those because I'm trying to show you on the computer, it's funny. But the head massage, you can take 2 fingers, or if you have a very tiny baby, adapt it with 1 finger, and then a bigger child, you could use 4. And then you're just doing little scalp circles. So it's really just
right
circles all the way around. And that is really relaxing. If you have your baby lying down that way, you can sort of cradle the head and then do it that way, which is also very nice.
Okay. As an adult, I can say that head massages are amazing.
Yes, I love them too, I have to say. And the nice thing about most of the massage strokes is the parents can really adapt them. So
Okay.
teach my classes, I teach a certain way, and then I show how they might want to adapt depending on the situation and,
Okay.
and the baby. Another one for the face, which parents always find kind of interesting, is little ear massage. I don't know if you've tried this, but you can just stroke the earlobe all the way up.
Uh-huh.
And that can be really relaxing. And some babies will actually go to sleep when you do that technique.
I've even heard that for adulting for like stress and stuff. Of, like,
Yes,
massaging the
yes,
earlobe.
to do the ear. So that's another easy one.
I find what some of the best massages are in places that aren't like your back or like the main stuff. It's like your head, it's your ears.
Exactly. Or hands. And sometimes you don't realize how tight your hands are. And like babies really clench their fists. And then just that
Right.
relaxation, that release when you're actually massaging. It's amazing. Another face one. Now, this one is a very popular one. It isn't one I was actually taught, but we do that with a lot of babies where you take two fingers and go straight down. So starting at the forehead and yes, all the way down over the nose and the lips. And that one also can help babies fall asleep.
Interesting.
And then I can show you a couple more for the face, which are really nice because it's almost like having a facial. And I know mums out there probably have facials, but you'll take two fingers and you go across the brows, down across the nose and cheeks,
Okay.
across the top lip, the bottom lip, and then you can sort of get under the chin.
Okay.
Very simple. And when you come down across the nose, that can help open up the sinus areas too. If certainly here in Austin with allergies and all the
Yes.
going on, it can really help.
Okay.
The other thing to mention on the face one, some of the mums have, well, I should say the babies have trouble kind of latching on if they're breastfeeding or even feeding. And some of the facial massage can actually stimulate the rooting reflex. So that's a benefit to help the babies suck. And little cheek chops around the cheeks. These are very sweet. They're called cheeky chops. And you can just, again, take a couple of fingers.
Oh, I love the cheeks. I would have no problem doing that one.
You can practice this on your older children as well. And then those partners can practice this on their other halves too. So the massage is really good. When I teach my classes, the mothers are always like, yes, I think I'll go home and ask for a foot massage or a facial. It's good to practice. And some of those techniques are very simple, and the babies actually enjoy their faces, most of them. You know, one thing to mention too is not all babies like all of the strokes. And the nice thing is that the parents can kind of try different things with their babies and children and see what they like. And
Right.
when they get older, they can turn around and say, oh, I like this or I don't like this. So.
Right. Cool. And so what about like with colic? Like you said, that's very popular, colic and gas and stuff.
The colic and gas techniques you can do, you know, we talked about the massage. It's not sort of prescriptive, like you don't have to do it at a set time every day. It is a great thing to build into your baby's routine though, and start, you know, when they're born and carry it on. It's really good to do that. But I would say with the gas and colic, it is good to do perhaps every, you know, 2-3 times a day or more with diaper changes. Because with those strokes, if your baby is having trouble, it's more likely to kind of work and relieve the pressure, gas bubbles, or help with constipation, that type of thing. And one of the things to remember is you're always going to go with the baby from, if your baby is going to be lying sort of this way,
Okay.
see, you're going to go from your left over to the right.
Okay.
So you always have to go kind of in a clockwise motion.
Okay.
And what a really nice stroke that a lot of the parents like is called I Love You. And basically I can show you the stroke because you'll be going in a clockwise motion. So you'll take 2 fingers and it's an I, and you do an upside down L, love you. And then you do an upside down U. So it's I love you. And that stroke, because this is kind of your intestinal area and it's
Right.
across and down, and that stroke just kind of helps move everything along. One of the things too, on your smaller babies, it's kind of hard because you've got the chest area and then you've got the tummy area. Yeah, so you kind of go, if you look for the baby's tummy button, the umbilical area, and you go just above or just below that.
Okay.
On it. When your babies grow, you know, obviously with my 8-year-old son, I don't typically do the tummy massage, but there's a lot of space there, so you definitely so it's a lot easier. Another one that you can do with the babies too on the tummy is one where you're paddling. So you'll take 2 hands and you're just, let me do it that way, sort of paddling down, scooping down.
Okay. It's kind of like pushing, like you're kind of pushing things along.
That motion. And then one that the parents often do is little kneesies, where you'll take both knees.
Yes, the bicycle kicks. I know.
And the little bicycles too. And those are good to do in between the different strokes as well.
Okay.
That can help too. And one very simple one I'll show you that a lot of people don't know is just if you've got the baby lying this way, you would just lift the bottom up and back down. And it's like lifting the whole sort of sacral bottom area, but obviously not tipping on the head. And it really helps kind of relieve the spine. And a lot of times that can help with gas too. And the babies really enjoy that.
Yeah, that is a really simple one.
Yeah.
You're doing really good at explaining this, by the way, for our listeners that may not be like watching.
I know it's tough when you're not there. It's much easier when people are sort of in front of me and I can show them.
Yeah, all the techniques.
Idea too.
Is there anything that you can do for the feet? Benefit anything?
The feet is always the first place really we start when we do the massage class.
That's a flexible baby.
Yes, this baby can I know. It's what did they say? Do not do this at home type of thing. So with the feet, you can use oils or you could do it without the oils. But when I show you, if going up the legs, you would definitely need to use oil. So the first one is kind of like a paddling motion. So I'm going to put James down that way and just show you his leg. And so you take 2 thumbs and you just kind of paddle upwards a little bit, thumb over thumb.
And you start at
the heel and go up towards the toes. Exactly.
Cool.
Do it this way, be better. There we go. This is not a real baby. I have to have a disclaimer.
I know, because it looked real, at least when the foot is right there.
Then you can do little presses.
Okay.
And these are quite stimulating. The other thing we didn't talk about is when you're doing baby massage, it really does kind of stimulate the circulation, the nerves. It can actually help with the immune system as well. But at the same time, it's interesting, it can be relaxing. So even these strokes that kind of move the circulation a little bit to stimulate the tissues can actually be very relaxing. And then one that's really nice is called a little toe press. And I'm just going to turn him around that way. And see if you can see, yeah.
Okay.
You can do the same little paddling on the sole of the foot, and you can do it on the top of the foot. But the toe press is just press and release, press and release. And you can try this with your own children. Older children may find it a little bit too ticklish.
Yeah.
But it's really nice. The babies like it a lot. And then you can just roll. So if you're doing this with a finger or a toe, it's just like a press, release. And then,
even like getting like hand massages, and then when they go like all the way from like the base of your knuckle to like the tip of your finger, it feels so good.
I know. It's just that release, and you don't realize how tight your hands work.
Yeah.
With the little babies under kind of 4 months, they have a reflex called the plantar and the palmar reflex. And I think you've probably seen this, where if you put a finger in a baby's hand, they'll grasp your finger. So sometimes when the mothers or fathers are doing massage on the baby's feet, they may curl their toes a little bit. And it doesn't necessarily mean they don't like the massage. It's just if they're little, that's a natural reflex that they'll have.
Okay.
Hands. But as they get older, it should be easier. But to be honest, all the babies I've seen really quite most of them like having their feet done.
I was about to say, is there a cue, besides crying, that the baby might give if they don't like it?
They may try and kind of pull away a little bit.
Okay.
Sometimes they sort of look away, or they may kind of have that like grimace, that like frowning face too.
Okay.
And it's just, I think for parents, it's quite obvious when they're actually doing the massage, if they're enjoying it or if they're not. It's amazing to kind of start doing it and to see the reactions too.
Yeah. So tell us about the oil. What is a good ideal oil for a baby?
Oils. Now, I just show you a couple over here, zoom over here. And I'm not really sort of promoting any set brand. It's just I live here in Austin, so I've got these from good old
Right.
But any oil that you use, the number one thing is it just needs to be edible, because your babies are going to put hands and feet in mouths, so they need to be edible. You don't have to buy sort of like fancy massage oils. You can, but you don't have to. The types of oils I like to use are, they must be cold pressed oils, and they're just the normal oils you buy at the grocery store. So sunflower oil, safflower oil, coconut oil is another really good oil that a lot of people use. Grapeseed is a nice oil. You could use olive oil, but I always think that sounds a little bit heavy, and people do use that on their salads, so they may not want to cover their baby in olive oil, but you can.
I use, like, with essential oils and stuff, not for massage, but just in general, is almond oil. Right. It's very, it just goes into your skin very nicely. It doesn't leave too big of a greasy feeling, like olive oil, I feel like would.
Would a little bit. No, and almond, apricot, any of those oils are nice. If your family has kind of like issues with nut allergies, you might want to avoid the nut oils, like some of the nut oils. But one thing you can always do is just on the baby's wrist area, just put a little bit of oil and look for any redness. And if you don't have any, then it's probably good to go.
Okay.
If you see some redness, you might just want to avoid that oil.
Okay.
Keep the oil somewhere cool and dark in a pantry. And if you're at all worried, you can just taste it and smell it and check it hasn't kind of expired and it's rancid.
Yeah.
We talked about aromatherapy oils. You can use them with babies. You just have to be really careful about diluting them because they're concentrated. But I love aromatherapy oils. I mean, I love lavender, chamomile, rose. They are great to use with little ones. And if you don't want to put the oils in the carrier oil, which is how you have to do it, to mix the essential in the carrier oil, the grapeseed oil, then you could use a diffuser or a room spray or something like that. So you still get that lovely smell, but you're still just using the plain oil.
Right, right. Yeah, usually with infants, I just try to stick with pretty much lavender. It's a very gentle oil. There's no need to like get into like really like other strong oils because infants they're small and
right, exactly. And it's just so concentrated. So
yes, for sure. So where can we find you if someone wants to work with you, or what kind of services do you offer?
Okay, good question. I actually offered some different services. I offer group classes.
Okay.
Typically they're small group classes. Maybe sort of the max number would be 6 to 8 people max, usually fewer than that, just because we want that one-on-one time and so that everybody can learn. But I will do group classes at different locations across Austin. I also do private one-on-one classes in people's homes, which is really nice. So sometimes people will be given, I offer gift certificates and baby showers. So if someone wants to give a baby shower gift, I will go to their home and spend, time there one-on-one with the parents and the baby in their own environment. So that's always very nice and a very relaxed environment too. I also kind of offer classes around Austin at different locations where I may just kind of teach a little bit about benefits of massage and the oils and that type of thing. I've got one coming up pretty soon at a play cafe in Austin. So those types of things I'll do as well.
Awesome. Do you do anything virtual?
Not yet, but that's a great question because I sort of haven't got there yet, but I think that's a really good question because I think it is something I could do, and I think it would be easier for a lot of parents who are so busy now, not having to go somewhere. And then if it's recorded, they could play it back too, definitely. On my website, I have a calendar, and that kind of lists all the classes I offer, the prices, because the price structure does depend on where the class is held. So there are some slight differences in price structure,
right?
Private versus group. And people can always reach out to me. And I also set up classes. Sometimes people will say, I'd like a class with a group of friends. So we just go ahead and arrange that for them. So,
cool.
with that.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming on today.
Well, thank you for inviting me. I've enjoyed chatting with you. Thank you.